Nefertiti. The name alone conjures images of regal beauty and whispers of forbidden secrets. How did this queen rise to the pinnacle of ancient Egypt, only to vanish from the historical record without a trace? And what about the rumors of a scandal so explosive it could have shaken the royal court to its core? Historians have wrestled with these questions for centuries, offering countless theories, some grounded in fact, others leaning into pure speculation. Did she orchestrate a revolutionary upheaval too great for the kingdom to handle? Or was her mysterious disappearance crafted to conceal a private scandal involving a forbidden love that might have torn the dynasty apart? By the end of this video, you'll see why Nefertiti's life continues to captivate our modern imagination. You'll discover how she balanced religious upheaval, personal ambition, and a legacy clouded by intrigue. Yet the more evidence we uncover, the more we realize how little we truly know. Was history lying to us, or is the truth simply buried in the sands, waiting to be uncovered? Stay with me, because once the pieces of her story start falling into place, you might find you can't look away. Nefertiti's background remains one of Egyptology's most compelling puzzles. Some believe she was related to a high-ranking official, possibly even a foreign-born princess brought into Egypt by a strategic alliance. Whatever her origins, palace records reveal a woman who appeared out of nowhere, yet commanded incredible influence. The question is, how did she earn such power so quickly? When she married Pharaoh Amenhotep IV, Egypt was on firm ground, rich in tradition, admired for its pantheon of gods. But soon after Nefertiti's arrival, rumors of drastic change spread throughout the palace corridors. She seemed more than just a consort. Scribes reported she stood shoulder to shoulder with the pharaoh in diplomatic audiences, religious rites, and royal ceremonies, privileges few queens ever enjoyed. Yet it wasn't just her ambitions stirring talk. Her sense of style, evident in sculptures and tomb paintings, set her apart from typical representations of royal women. From her iconic headdress to her poised demeanor, everything about Nefertiti screamed unprecedented. But if courtiers found her boldness surprising, they had no idea what was coming next. From the outside, Akhenaten and Nefertiti might have seemed unstoppable, a radiant duo reshaping the kingdom's destiny. Artistic depictions show them sharing tender moments with their children, a rarity in Egyptian royal iconography. Yet behind the gilded walls, something more unsettling was brewing. Even early on, high-ranking courtiers whispered that the couple's apparent devotion masked deeper tensions, ones that would soon spill over into public view. Akhenaten's religious pivot, which placed supreme focus on the Aten, the sun disk, was revolutionary and risky. Temples devoted to centuries-old gods were shuttered, and priests lost their lifelong positions. This unprecedented upheaval sent shockwaves through the kingdom. Nefertiti did more than stand idly by. She actively participated in ceremonies, sometimes depicted in reliefs, wearing crowns that nearly matched the pharaoh's. Such images fueled talk that she might be acting as an unofficial co-ruler. Publicly, they appeared as the perfect team, forging an era of bold experimentation and lavish construction, including the new capital city of Akhenaten. Privately, though, palace insiders sensed rifts. Was Nefertiti the driving force behind these extreme policies? Some believed she was the mastermind, pushing Akhenaten into a conflict with the powerful priesthood that could never be reversed. If the kingdom was already uneasy, it was about to get a lot more volatile, because amid these radical reforms, the queen's personal life, rumored to be more complicated than anyone dared admit, threatened to ignite a scandal no one could ignore. As tensions over religious changes mounted, another story began to take hold, one that promised even more drama. Whispers of a forbidden love involving Nefertiti. There's no smoking gun here, but ancient texts and partially erased inscriptions hint at the possibility of a secret affair. Who the alleged partner might have been remains unknown. A powerful military leader, a royal advisor, or perhaps someone far closer to the queen's inner circle. Some historians see the abrupt disappearance of Nefertiti's name from official records decades as evidence that a scandal forced her out. Could she have been caught in a betrayal so damaging that the royal court had to bury the truth, or was this just palace gossip, used as a convenient excuse by her enemies to undermine her influence? No matter where the truth lies, the idea of a clandestine romance adds irresistible suspense to an already tumultuous era. Even back then, such a rumor would have spread like wildfire, stoking public fascination. But as we'll see, this wasn't the only threat looming over her, because if a secret affair was scandalous, the next twist would be downright dangerous. Nefertiti's involvement in Akhenaten's religious revolution left no part of society untouched. Inscriptions show her officiating high-profile ceremonies, praising the Aten above all other deities. Temples once dedicated to beloved gods like Amun-Ra fell into ruin, their priests cast aside. This wasn't just a new spiritual approach, it was an assault on everything Egyptians had believed for centuries. The resulting outrage was fierce. Powerful priesthoods, stripped of their authority, murmured discontent. City dwellers who once relied on temple-driven festivals and community events felt adrift. Even the craftspeople struggled, forced to adopt the distinctly Amarna style that honored Aten's radiant beams. At the center of it all stood Nefertiti, unwavering in her mission to support the pharaoh's vision, or possibly leading it herself. And though the official artwork painted a picture of harmony, tension brewed within the palace. Jealous rivals, humiliated priests, and fearful generals had plenty of reasons to resent her. One misstep could end with betrayal, or worse. Rumors flew that officials were plotting in secret, eager to restore the old gods and dethrone the queen who dared defy the status quo. But this wave of conflict was only half the tale. Just as outrage peaked, Nefertiti vanished from public life, and her abrupt disappearance left Egypt reeling. One moment, Nefertiti's face and titles adorned temple walls. The next, they were nearly gone. Around the 12th year of Akhenaten's reign, her name simply dropped off Egypt's official radar. Artwork depicting her presence was abruptly replaced by scenes of Akhenaten alone or with their daughters. The question is, why? One theory holds that she died naturally, her memory overshadowed by the kingdom's escalating turmoil. Another suggests she was banished or quietly removed to placate the outrage her reforms had sparked. Yet a third possibility is even more intriguing. Some scholars argue she assumed a new identity as the mysterious co-regent Neferuaten. If Nefertiti re-emerged in a semi-royal guise, it would mean she was too pivotal to lose, but too controversial to remain as she was. This might explain the altered inscriptions referencing a female figure ruling alongside Akhenaten. Despite the speculation, definitive proof remains elusive. The deeper we dig, the more shadowy her story becomes. Yet there's more to Nefertiti's disappearance than political drama. The search for her lost tomb would electrify future generations, because if we found the queen's final resting place, we just might confirm who she really was, or uncover an even bigger secret. Fast forward to modern times. Archaeologists and treasure hunters alike have combed the Valley of the Kings, the tombs at Amarna, and beyond, hoping to stumble upon Nefertiti's burial. Every newly unearthed mummy or hidden corridor sparks the same buzz. Could this be hers? In 2015, scans hinting at hidden chambers behind Tutankhamun's tomb reignited the frenzy, with some experts insisting the voids must contain her remains. But despite high-tech scans, repeated excavations, and endless theories, no definitive evidence has emerged. Each time we uncover a promising lead, like an unidentified female mummy from the 18th dynasty, it either proves inconclusive or reignites debate among Egyptologists. The controversy, of course, only heightens Nefertiti's allure, ensuring her name never strays far from the headlines. Finding her final resting place could forever change how we view this tumultuous period in Egyptian history. The answers might confirm whether she continued to rule as a hidden pharaoh, or if she was exiled after a scandal that shook the court to its core. Yet the longer her tomb remains elusive, the more convinced some become that the biggest secrets are still waiting, just out of reach. So, what clues do we have, if any? The answer leads us to a modern-day battle over her most famous relic. Nothing embodies Nefertiti's mystique more than the iconic limestone bust discovered at Amarna in 1912. Now housed in Berlin's Neues Museum, it's been a magnet for international dispute. Egyptian authorities argue this treasure was removed under questionable circumstances. Berlin insists it was obtained fairly. The piece itself has become a flashpoint of national pride, cultural identity, and unresolved colonial-era grievances. Meanwhile, scientific efforts to solve the Queen's riddle continue. Researchers conduct DNA tests on mummies possibly linked to Tutankhamun, hoping to match genetic markers that might identify Nefertiti as his mother, or exclude her once and for all. Some inscriptions discovered in Amarna hint that she lived through Akhenaten's final years, possibly watching the Aten-centered experiment crumble. Others remain unconvinced, arguing these references could point to different royal women. Despite new technology and global attention, every breakthrough invites another wave of debate. Did she vanish due to political intrigue, or did a scandal force her into hiding? Is her tomb quietly waiting to be unearthed, or is her final resting place lost to history? As scientists and scholars clash, one fact remains: Nefertiti's allure is as potent now as it was in her fabled prime. But how does this saga truly end? Let's bring it all together. Nefertiti's story is the ultimate blend of ambition, revolution, and deep human drama. She rose from obscurity to become Egypt's most talked about queen, championing a radical new religion and challenging ancient traditions head-on. Her involvement in Akhenaten's reign made her a paragon of both bold innovation and, in some eyes, reckless defiance. Along the way, she may have navigated a dangerous love affair, toppled powerful priesthoods, and faced betrayals that would chill anyone's blood. When she suddenly vanished, it left a gaping hole in Egypt's historical narrative, one that remains unfilled despite centuries of excavations and scholarly debates. Did a scandalous affair seal her fate? Was she quietly removed to stabilize a kingdom on the brink of chaos? Or did she continue to rule under a hidden identity, determined to see her grand experiment through? Today, every rumor of her lost tomb, every genetic test on an unnamed mummy, and every diplomatic tug-of-war over her iconic bust draws us deeper into the enigma. Perhaps that's the true power of Nefertiti. Even in her absence, she commands our collective imagination. As long as we keep searching, her legend endures, reminding us that sometimes the most captivating stories in history are the ones we can't quite finish. So, what do you think? Was Nefertiti a forgotten queen, a fallen goddess, or the true pharaoh hiding behind a different name? Drop your theory in the comments. I'm reading every one of them. And if you're as obsessed with ancient mysteries as I am, hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, this is only the beginning.